try it out. So to create this new describe function, you're going to need to go over here, right, and put it somewhere inside your struct. And it doesn't really matter where you put it inside the struct. You can put it at the top. You can put it in the middle. Don't put it inside another function, right? Make sure it's all at the same level. Okay, you can put it at the bottom, which is where I'll put it, right? So func describe, and this doesn't return anything. Okay, it doesn't return anything. So you just put curly braces and it just prints out stuff. And this is all just string interpolation, right? You can say this car is a, all right, and then it's got color, car with number of wheels, this many wheels, all right? And the next part about whether it's automatic or not is a little bit tricky, right? It's a little bit tricky, and I want to show you a little method that we're going to use very often in SwiftUI to determine whether to print something or not. Okay, so give me a moment, right? So I'm just going to type is automatic, right? Is air conditioned, right? I'm going to skip past these two first, and I'll come back to them, all right? Has a top speed of, right? Top speed, right? And let's just put in the units as well, kilometers per hour, because miles per hour is dumb. And it fits num-fittable people. Okay, so we haven't used all the information we're supposed to yet, but I will come back to these two parts about whether it's air-conditioned and whether it's automatic real quick. But first, let's try it out, right? Let's type in. Let's do mycar.describe. Let's run it. And let's take a look at our console over here. And it says this car is a blue car with 4 wheels, is automatic, is air-conditioned, has a top speed of 150 kilometers per hour, and it fits 5 people. Very nice. However, if I change this to another car, and I run my code, it'll also say that it's automatic and air-conditioned, and that's not true. Okay, also this car fits 500 people. I still can't get over that. So how do we fix this thing over here, right? That's a little bit tricky, but let's see what we can do. Also, why is my keyboard thing so big? Go away. No, don't go there. Go there. Okay. All right. So this part over here is a little bit tricky because you can't just print is air conditioned true, which is what you might do, right? You can do that, right? Which is not that great. Is air conditioned, and it says is automatic. Is automatic. Okay. So if I do this, I mean, it's a little bit weird because it'll just be saying is automatic false, is air conditioned false. That's not quite right, right? This is not how people talk. I think this is not how people I know talk. I don't know about you. Okay, so how do we make this true false value translate into an actual string that we can use? Here's how, by having an if statement inside our print statement. Okay, here's how I can do it. I'm going to say slash bracket string interpolation is automatic question mark is automatic colon is not automatic. All right, I'm going to leave this on screen for a moment and we'll stare at it for a while. Okay, this is a one-line if statement. It's called the ternary operator. What you are doing here is you are checking whether this is true, and if it's true, it now returns this value. If it's false, it returns this second value right here. Okay, so I hope that kind of makes sense. If you've ever done any if statements in Excel, maybe some of you are, Excel warriors and you are really familiar with if statements in Excel, it's kind of how it works, right? In Excel, you have a function called if, and the first condition is true, it will give you the second argument. If it's false, it'll give you the third argument, all right? So this thing called the ternary operator or the question mark colon operator is an if statement that is all encapsulated in a single line, right, inside this bracket right here, right? If it's automatic, print is automatic. If it's not automatic, print is not automatic. Okay, so I'll leave it to you to try and fix the second part, which is the is air conditioned bit, right? So it's going to be very similar, but I just want to test this out to make sure that it works. I'm going to describe my another car, and let's take a look at it, how well it does. All right, it says, yes, is air conditioned, is not automatic, right? So it printed out the part where it's not automatic. If I change this to my car, And if I run it, it's now automatic, right? It prints it out in a nice grammatical sentence by evaluating whether something was true or false, right? This thing is called the ternary operator, the question mark colon operator, and we will come back to it very, very soon in SwiftUI. All right, that's it for structs. We're not going to be doing too much with structs because we'll be seeing structs all over the place in SwiftUI in the coming units. I just want to point out one last thing before we continue. If you think this looks familiar, right, this word struct looks familiar, and having var and functions and things like that, well, that's because you've been using structs all over SwiftUI. Let's go back to our SwiftUI code and take a look. Right, so this is our counter. There you go. This word is right here. Struct content view. Okay. In fact, just about every view is a struct. A VStack is actually a struct. A text is a struct. A button is a struct. All these other buttons are also structs. Okay, I've run out of other views to show you, right? But suffice to say, they're all structs, and that's why they are named the way they are. They are capital letters, right? All structs should be called capital letters. When you type in something like text, followed by this thing over here, right? What the contents of the text, you are essentially defining a text struct where the property includes this string. Okay. For a button, you are defining a button without much properties except for this curly brace. And whatever this curly brace is, we will talk about in the next chapter of this unit. All right, so that's it from us for structs. I hope you learned something new and interesting. If you have any questions, do let us know in the comments. Drop us an email, drop us a tweet. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.